What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Boston's Banter, where the sports are wicked and the banter is Pissah. I'm your host, Frank the Bank. With me, as always, is Keith LaCava. What's going on, Soy Bro Team Shake?
You got me on that one. Frankie, I don't got one today, but you got me on that one, bro.
All right. Well, big congrats out to Tyler.
I just want a ball. Rondo, my boy, my sister's boyfriend, he won the stat challenge last week. The special teams guys, they went over 100, man.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, that was a crazy game. We'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, congrats to him. We have a new stat challenge this week. There is no game this week for the Patriots, so we're going to go with the Celtics. I got a pretty cool card. Keith's got a picture of it here. We'll show you, but it's an orange prism graded Jason Tatum card. Pretty cool card. So that's going to be the stat challenge this week. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask for the point total for the Celtics for 2 games. So the Celtics versus Bucks on Friday, plus the Celtics versus the Grizzlies, on Saturday. So add up their point total. So whatever your guess is, if you think they're going to score 100 each game, then your guess would be 200. So
absolutely. And check those comments too, so you're not commenting the same answer.
Absolutely. So why don't we jump right into Wicked Pissah News?
Alrighty, Frank, let's get into it, brother. Bruins update. So the Bruins are currently 12-11-3. We know they just went through the coaching change and whatnot. 2-2 in the last 4 games. Let's break it down real quick. So they lost 2-0 to the Canucks in Boston last Tuesday. Then they beat the Islanders 6-3 last Wednesday, followed by a 2-1 Penguins win in Boston this past Friday, and then a 6-3 win over the Canadiens this past Saturday, Frankie. So kind of up and down, like we said, 2-2, you 50% the last 2 games. And then next game is tonight versus the Red Wings at 7 p.m.
I mean, 12-11-3. 4-2 in the last 6 at least. I mean, again, we're playing 500 hockey. I mean, we're only 1 game over 500 at this point. So, hopefully this new coaching regime can get them going. I know it's the assistant coach jumping up, but
seems like every time we get a new coach, they're a little successful. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's hope. Let's hope. So, Keith, what do you got for the Celtics though?
Move over to the Celtics, Frankie. So right now the Celtics sit at 16-4 on the season. Unfortunately, the C's had a few days off after Monday's win versus the Clippers. They played 3 games since our last show. So they beat the Bulls in Chicago this past Friday, 138-129. It was a high-scoring game.
That was.
And then, unfortunately, followed by a 115-111 loss to the now 18-3 Cavaliers, brother.
That was a bad loss. We were up double digits going into the 4th quarter, too.
Well, you know what's kind of interesting, Frankie? The Cavs had 17 turnovers to our 9, and they still beat us.
We were up 12 going in the 4th. Spider Mitchell went crazy. He had 20. He had 20 in the 4th.
Yeah,
20,
man.
It was crazy. Yeah,
I think he had 35 total on the game, something like that.
Yeah, it was nuts.
So, obviously, we didn't have Jaylen Brown, but still, man, it was a rough game. Peyton Pritchard with 24 off the bench, 32 total bench points. I mean, he had the majority of them.
He's been going crazy the last few weeks anyway, so.
Yep, and then we beat Miami and Boston last night, 108-89. So, I mean, looking good there. Next game is tomorrow versus the Pistons in Boston. That should be a win, but sometimes you never know.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, let's talk about some bad losses. We talked a lot about the Chicago White Sox.
Chicago White Sox, the historically bad season they had.
So the Washington Wizards in the month of November lost every single game that they played. 0-14 for the month of November. I just wanted to bring that up. We were talking basketball here, so I just thought that was kind of crazy. That's their worst month, obviously, in franchise history.
Right.
Some other Boston news real quick. The Red Sox, something we talked about a lot was the bullpen of the Red Sox.
Absolutely.
Just got word today that supposedly we signing Aroldis Chapman, the guy that pitched 105 miles an hour this year.
Yeah, we talked about it,
We talked
actually.
about that, too.
Yeah, we did.
He had some control issues over his career, but overall, I mean, the guy can throw the ball harder than anybody.
I agree.
So I think that's really going to help the bullpen. That's what we talked about so many times. The bullpen was one of the worst in the league.
Right. We talked about the bullpen, and it's funny that it just popped in my head. We actually did talk about Aroldis Chapman, how fast he was throwing.
Yeah.
Right, dude. That's pretty crazy we got him.
So why don't we jump into some NFL stuff?
So some NFL news, and we're going to go back to the Daniel Jones saga. It's been going on, getting benched to getting cut. Now my guy's found a new home. So Daniel Jones signs with the Vikings practice squad. He's actually being signed for the rest of the season only to a $375,000 deal. The guy went from 100. I know, but it's funny.
They're still paying
gets
him.
That extension, $160 million, and then the Vikings like, hey man, we're going to give you almost $400K for the rest of the season.
It was funny after they released him, he was like, I want to go to a contender. It's like, just be quiet and hope you get signed.
Seriously, dude. I mean, you want to win He doesn't want to do any of the work, but he wants to get the A+.
That's just crazy. I mean, it's not a bad place to go, though. No, I mean, Sam Darnold's resurrected his career. He looked like a bust, right?
Right.
He was a third overall pick or something crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like, he was a high pick, and he's resurrected his career.
Yeah, he's playing good. I just wish he'd be looking for Justin Jefferson more in the end zone.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's actually Daniel Jones is a free agent next season, so we'll see where he goes from there. But as of right now, he's with Minnesota. Moving over to another team in the NFC North, the Chicago Bears. And if you guys watch that Thanksgiving game, actually, let's just show the clip real quick.
No one touched him. And down goes Williams. Zadarius Smith.
Well, this is supposed to be a quarterback draw. They have a light box.
Clock is running with 15 seconds, and it's 3rd and 26. They have one timeout left.
This is like the light box. You could have gotten numbers, but just didn't.
You better hurry.
Oh, no.
Oh, this is disaster in the making here. You're going to have to do something when it comes down to this play. Incomplete, and the game is over. Completely botched at the end by the Bears.
So unbelievable, Frankie. How do you not? I get it, man. Like, we saw a lot of penalties between the Bears in lines within those last 2 minutes, but then they were in a position where they were already in field goal range, and then they're going to take a sack. And then, mind you, I get it, man. Caleb Williams should have called a timeout. He's the quarterback. He's a rookie. The head coach, Matt Eberflus, should have called a timeout.
We talked about him being a bonehead before.
Dude.
Like, we said we shouldn't have got fired before. This was crazy. He had a timeout, man.
One timeout.
And I don't even know why Caleb took so long to hike the ball in the first place, but it was like 27, 28 seconds left.
Plenty of time.
You either take the timeout, run a quick play, and then run the field goal unit out, or you run the clock down and take a timeout.
I was honestly disgusted, even though I'm not a Bears fan, just the fact that they could have made that game a little more interesting. But, dude, regardless of all that, like we were just talking about, head coach Matt Eberflus, he got fired by the Bears, man. Disgusting time management at the end of that 23-20 loss to the Lions, bro. And honestly, bro, Frankie, very uncharacteristic of an NFL head coach to not call a timeout there.
I heard something on one of the stations, or it might have been ESPN, might have been somewhere, that this was the first time in like 1,500 games that anything like this has ever happened. That there was about 30 seconds left. I think there was 28 seconds left. They had a timeout
to spare
within field goal range.
Right.
And they didn't even attempt the field goal.
There was no excuse. That game should have went to overtime, man. There was no excuse.
Or at least you get the field goal attempt. At least you get a chance.
And even if he misses
it,
at least you're trying right there. You know what I mean?
He hiked the ball with like 7 seconds left, and he threw it like 30 yards downfield.
And then
throw it out of bounds and give yourself a couple seconds.
Right, he overthrew DJ Moore, which was ridiculous, man. I heard actually a staffer was saying at the end of that game, all they heard was yelling, and it was an ugly scene in the Bears locker room. So you knew something was going to happen from there. So it's funny, right? I'm sure Eberflus, he showed up to the Bears facility Friday, and I'm sure it looked like this. So yeah, man, they weren't sticking with him no more, that's for sure, Frankie. But actually, one more interesting thing. This was actually the first time in Bears history, they've been in the league, around over 100 years or something like that, that they fired a head coach mid-season.
Oh yeah, that was the first time I saw that too. Yeah.
And the guy they just named interim head coach, the guy was the interim OC a few weeks ago. And mind you, before that, he was the team's passing game coordinator. Life comes at you fast in the NFL, dude.
Just so weird. That was just, he just was a terrible, that was just terrible.
No.
And then going on for another coaching thing, the Raiders versus KC.
Yeah.
You said it was going to be a good game. And we've talked about that. Raiders play them good.
They do.
They were down big at first, double digits, came back. They had a chance to win that game.
They did, man.
Right?
And
15 seconds left. The clock stopped. Why aren't you running your field goal unit? It's 3rd and like 5.
Why is Aiden O'Connell scanning the defense, and why did the center snap the ball?
They said, a false start. It wasn't a false start. He hiked the ball.
Yeah.
That was a live ball, and KC got it. First of all, to me, if you don't have timeouts, you don't have anything left, it's 3rd down and 3. If the ball is caught in bounds, the game is over. Right. So why aren't you? Right. I always say run the field goal unit out there. If it's a bad snap, you can then spike the ball as a snapper. Right. And then it's 4th down and you get another try.
Right, exactly. And
what is the coach doing running? What was his goal? To get 5 yards more, 5 yards closer? They were already on like the 30.
Starting to feel better about, where he is, where the kicker can make the field. I get it, but at that position right there, you just don't even want to take the chance against Kansas City.
They were well within his range, though.
Absolutely.
Like, you can run one quick out route. You know what I mean? That's all you can run.
Dude.
You get sacked, the game's over. If it's caught in bounds, the game's over. If it's a bad snap, the game's over, which it was a snap that was bad because no one was ready for it.
We saw two uncharacteristic things by these NFL teams the past week, man. And I'm going to tell you right now, the Bears could have easily brought it to overtime, and the Raiders could have easily won that game.
The Raiders very well could have won that game. And, the Chiefs got super lucky in that. It wasn't a bad call.
Yeah, they did.
People were talking about the call. It was not a bad call. That was just, he hiked the ball. That was no false start. It was like he didn't know the cadence or something. I don't know. It was very crazy.
Yeah, I'm getting sick of Kansas City the way they're getting lucky, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
You know what I mean? So let's move over to an NFL injury, and it was a major one this past Sunday. Trevor Lawrence suffered a nasty concussion Sunday versus the Texans. Man, it was 100% an illegal, dirty, ruthless hit by Texans linebacker Azeez Al-Shaair. Man, I'm gonna tell you right now, that dude's got a history, man.
Yeah, I showed you the clip. Yep. It's terrible.
Yeah, he's choking Tom Brady one game.
He's laid people out several times.
Out of bounds.
Out of bounds. Well laid out of bounds. I mean, this is crazy. He made like an okay apology, I guess, but still, this is like the fourth or fifth offense.
And I just
got suspended today.
Three games. Yeah. I saw that, and I'm glad it was 3 games. If it was 1, I was going to say that's nothing. It's a little slap.
Yeah,
on the
a lot
wrist.
of people were calling for 2. They kind of made an example. Said
right, 3. And it's the end of the season too, where they're going to need him.
They needed him.
Make an example, dude.
That's just a bonehead play, honestly.
And then of course I'm sure the Jags don't want Mac Jones being their starter. But then we have another nasty injury in the NFC. Taysom Hill, the all-purpose, the
gadget
Swiss Army knife for the Saints, suffered a torn ACL Sunday, and he's out for the season. Like I said, man, he's a jack of all trades for the Saints. Really quarterback, running back, receiver, tight end. Labeled as a tight end, but he does everything,
He does everything.
So the Saints, they've been, after those first 2 games, they were looking like juggernauts, then losing Rashid Shaheed. Chris Olave's had a concussion. Derek Carr's missed a few games. Now they don't have Taysom Hill. Yeah, man, that team went south quick.
Yeah, they got banged up quick.
Yeah, yes, sir. And then lastly, Frankie, and I know this is one of your boys,
This is,
bro.
of course. And this team's got injured more than most, too.
Yeah. So, and I hate to laugh too, but 49ers running back Christian McCaffrey suffered, and they're saying a potentially season-ending PCL injury Sunday versus the Bills. They say 6 weeks, but I mean, that's the rest of the season, man.
Oh, yeah, he's gone.
And they might not even make the playoffs.
They're too injured.
Now it's looking like the Madden curse wins again.
Oh, that's no doubt.
What's that? Did you hear that, Frankie?
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, let's not talk about the Madden curse no more. So very unfortunate for Christian McCaffrey. He only played 4 games this season, 202 rushing yards, 146 receiving yards, 0 touchdowns.
Yeah, I didn't have a single one for me.
Drake May, stay away from the Madden cover, please. We need you.
All right, so that's all we got for Wicked Pissah News. Why don't we jump into the Foxborough? Okay.
Here we are, Frankie.
I'm gonna do right off the bat for this.
Well, the crickets work too.
Nah, this is crazy.
Unfortunate.
Go ahead,
yes.
bring it up.
So, Week 13 recap. Patriots lose to the Colts 25-24. 1-point loss, bringing our record to a 3-10. And you know what? Just roll the clips.
Week 13, Colts at Patriots. And we're going to start here with Anthony Richardson in the first quarter. He's going to be rolling out looking for Jonathan Taylor for the 7-yard touchdown reception to start the game off. Patriots ensuing drive. Drake May is going to drop back. But we always talk about it. What else can this kid do? Look at those wheels. And he's taking off and he's scrambling, getting a big first down. Still going, trying to juke. But man, this kid got some wheels. Let's go, baby. Midway through the second quarter, Patriots up 9-7, and Anthony Richardson is going to run it in 3 yards for the touchdown. That guy better chill with those kind of celebrations. He's already injury prone. Following Patriots drive, Drake May is going to drop back, and he's going to look for Austin Hoop. There it is. Hooper for the touchdown. 2 straight weeks with a touchdown from the tight end. Nearing the end of the third quarter, Patriots down 1 point. Another red zone possession. Drake May is going to be dropping back, looking for tight end Hunter Henry, but he loses the ball and it goes into the hands of safety Julian Blackmon. I mean, come on, guys. We need more red zone work. Now, midway through the fourth quarter, the Patriots are still down 1 point in the red zone again. He's going to hand off to running back Antonio Gibson, hitting the juke button. That was a nice move for the 11-yard touchdown. Next Colts drive, Anthony Richardson is going to be dropping back and looking downfield for wide receiver Alec Pierce, but it gets picked off by Gonzo. Christian Gonzalez be locking everybody down. You can't throw his way. But Anthony Richardson made the plays where it matters most. End of the fourth quarter, he's going to be looking for Alec Pierce for the touchdown on 4th and goal, too, with Kyle Duggar in coverage. Very unfortunate. And rather than going to overtime, the Colts are going for 2, and Anthony Richardson is just going to rumble it in and get the game-winning touchdown. Man, they get it on 4th and goal, and then they get the 2-point to take the lead in Gillette Stadium. Come on. Patriots are going for the game-winning, record-breaking 68-yard field goal. It looked like money but unfortunately it was like a yard or two short. But that looked like a good kick. But yeah, the Patriots fall to 3-10. And yeah, we ain't going to the playoffs this year.
The Patriots are officially eliminated from playoff contention now.
I kind of knew that
already. Oh, no, we knew that, man. But, I was trying to be a little optimistic. Okay, they almost won that game. They did almost win that game.
They should have won that game.
Dude. But yeah, let's get into the Patriots offense week 13 versus the Colts. Drake May, 24 for 30, 238 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. My guy had 5 rushes for 59 yards, though, dude.
He's running great.
Rails.
Yes, he's going to possibly set the record for average yards per carry for a quarterback.
But another rush of the Patriots got Ramondre Stevenson. What they do this game, they fed him. I mean, he only had 73 yards, but they gave him 18 carries. Wish he got a little more. Antonio Gibson, though, 7 carries, 62 yards, and he had a nice touchdown.
That touchdown was nasty.
Yeah, he juked the guy out. That was pretty filthy.
Yeah, it was.
Hunter Henry, 7 receptions, 75 yards. Saw in the highlight tape, he lost the ball that led to an interception on the goal line, which was one of the red zone trips that we turned away. Yes, it was. And then my boy Austin Hoop, there it is. 4 receptions, 42 yards, 1 touchdown. Second straight week for Hooper, man, with a touchdown. Let's go over to the Patriots defensive stats for week 13 versus the Colts. And Jabril Peppers, our boy, is back. He ain't strangling people, maybe on the football field, but 9 total tackles, 1 tackle for a loss. He led the team. Christian Ellis, 4 total tackles, and he had a pick. And then our boy Christian Gonzalez, man, 6 total tackles, and he also had a pick too.
He looked good.
Yes, he did.
The defense been playing good.
They stepped it up a little bit, man. I just kind of wish they could have stopped him on that 2-point conversion.
That was crazy. I mean, that last drive in general.
I know, dude. 4th downs, whatnot. So, cold stats at the Patriots last week. Anthony Richardson, 12 for 24, 109 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Jonathan Taylor, 25 carries. They were really feeding him.
As they should.
Right. Only 96 yards. He had a 7-yard receiving touchdown, as we saw in the highlight tape. Michael Pittman, 5 receptions, 42. Doesn't look like a huge stat line, but something funny again. Nobody else on the team caught more than 2 passes, dude. Nobody else, and only like 4 total players.
He had 12 completions on 24. And you know what? It's crazy. That completion percentage, 50%, is actually higher than his season average.
There you go. There you go.
So his season average went up a tiny bit.
And then, dude, somebody from their defense that actually had a good defensive performance. Zaire Franklin, who's actually been a league leader in tackles the last few years. 12 total tackles, half a sack, and 1 pass defense.
Yeah, he's good.
Patriots knows versus the Colts, week 13, Frankie. Patriots had 422 total yards, 200 yards rushing.
I like that. That's
what I mean. Patriots allowed 253 total yards versus the Colts, so we had significantly more, and we still lost. We've been seeing that a lot.
That's crazy.
We talked about it. Patriots were 2 for 6 in the red zone, man, which was very annoying to watch. But then I got something else I want to bring up here. We talked about the 10 penalties for 75 yards last week. The Patriots had 7 penalties for 88 yards. Frankie, 163 penalty yards the last 2 weeks.
It's been like that most of the season.
Dude, but like almost 200 penalty yards within the last 2 weeks.
They keep taking, and a lot of it's like illegal shifts or holding, or it's something that takes the offense out of it. It's the drive killers.
Right, absolutely, bro. But you want to hear something funny? So, Patriots penalty issues, and I got some numbers here for you. They're tied for the 5th most penalized team. They have 88 total.
Jeez.
Tied for 2nd most offensive holding calls. They have 20 total. Tied for 3rd most pass interference calls. They have 12 total. And they're tied for 5th most false starts with 18 total. We're in the top 5 with all those, bro.
And like the 2 of the ones we just talked about, offensive holding and then
pass interference, false starts,
defense, and the false start. Those are all the 2 offensive ones are drive killers every time.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, man, that's clearly one of the main reasons this year why we cannot finish games and why we can't win games. We saw the games they win. I guess I think they get like less than 5 penalties.
We talked about it the other day. We have several losses that are decided by 1 score or less.
Single possession,
right?
Man.
So if we just tweak, obviously to me that's coaching. Some of that's coaching, obviously.
The numbers are there, bro.
Right? Some of that's coaching. Mm-hmm. Some of that's players.
Absolutely.
We get a high draft pick next year. We get a couple guys in. Right. Those close losses turn to close wins. Next thing you know, you're a wild card team.
Yeah, absolutely,
right?
bro.
And you build off of that.
And that's what I'm saying. They've had so many of those single-digit losses, man, especially some that are less than a field goal.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean, bro?
Yep.
But Frankie, so the Patriots are on a bye this upcoming week, so, they get a nice little break. We'll be discussing their matchup versus the Cardinals in Arizona next week.
So let's jump into Wicked Smart Fantasy Stats.
Here we are, Frankie. So let's go break down what I did in my league last week. And your boy won 175.74 to 129.60, bringing my record to 8-5. And your boy clinched a playoff spot.
That's
Frankie, I'm in there, dog. Let's get it, man. Let's talk about the studs from last week. Jaden.
You deserve an applause.
Thank you, brother.
You deserve that one right
there. My guy, bro. So Jaden Daniels, 34.64 points, 4 total touchdowns, 3 pass, 1 rush. His guy there, Terry McLaurin, man, 27.3, 2 receiving touchdowns. Justin Jefferson, not the biggest game, but he had 16.9 points, better than what he did last week, that's for sure.
That's true.
My boy Jonnu Smith, man, 21.3, 10 catches for 113.
He's been a great waiver wire pickup for you, man.
I'm telling you, bro. I get good with those tight end pickups,
that's a
bro.
good pickup right there.
And then Ladd McConkey, bro, 20.7, 9 catches, 117 yards. And then here are my duds. Only had a few of them. Kenny Walker, 6.6. He had a rough game against the Jets. Rashad White, 8.8. You know, could have been worse, but still single digits. And then my kicker, Jake Elliott, only got me 6 points. Frankie, how'd you do in my league?
Somehow I won. I was down 55.
To my cousin Joey, he was telling me that, dude.
He probably was. I'm surprised he wasn't messaging me through the app or something.
That's crazy,
so
bro.
I'm still in first place, 10-3. Yeah, Jalen Hurts, 19.5. Started Trey Tucker on a whim. He got 16. He only caught 1 ball, but it was for 58 and a touchdown.
Yeah, and a touchdown.
And he had 1 rush for 11 yards.
I saw that.
Njoku, 26 points. He had like 3 drops, but he had 9 catches, 52 yards, 2 touchdowns.
They were feeding him in that game, bro.
He had 2 other targets in the end zone too. Bucky Irvin had 27. James Cook had 21 in that snow game.
Yeah.
Denver's defense has been great all year. 2 defensive touchdown pick sixes.
God, dude.
But some of my duds, Deebo Samuel in the snow. I mean, I probably should have took him out 4 points. McCaffrey was having like the best quarter of his life. He had 9 points. He goes down, gets hurt. So he's all done.
Started doing snow angels.
Yeah, he was done. And then Tony Pollard only got 8. So those were my duds.
That was rough, man. So let's move over to your league, Frankie, where I played you, man. We did have a good matchup, Frankie. And again, I'm just hoping to just not have to wear the dress next year. If I do, whatever, it is what it is. But let's break down what happened, bro. I lost 198.54 to 172.06. You know, we had a tight matchup going into last night's game.
You said you didn't watch the game last night, but I was up.
I fell asleep,
I don't know
bro.
if you saw it, but at halftime, Bo Nix had like 2 points. And my defense was doing whatever. They were doing okay, right?
He threw a 97-yard touchdown right after.
He threw a 97-yard, and then the very next play for Cleveland, they threw like a 90-yard touchdown. So my defense lost points, and you gained a bunch of points.
So it was kind of...
You cut it to like 7 or 8 points.
But I'll bring up my stud. So I have Ladd McConkey in both leagues. He had me 22.7 in Frank's league. And MHJ back on the stud side. He got me 17 points, 60 yards, and a touchdown. Yep. James Cook, like you had, bro, got me 22 points. He was going off. Brock Bowers, bro. That's when you started getting nervous.
Oh, Brock Bowers went crazy.
Dude, 31.2 points, 10 catches, 140 yards, and a touchdown.
This guy was going. Every ball was thrown to him.
I loved it, man.
Every single ball.
My kicker, Kyrie Fairbairn, he's been solid this year, 13 points.
He's an animal.
The Seahawks defense against the Jets got me 17, bro. And then here are my duds. Darnell Mooney, 5 points, 3 catches for 20 yards. DeAndre Swift, only 9.4 points. And Tony Pollard, like you had, man, 8.8. So let's hear your studs and duds, man.
Jaden Daniels, you talked about already, and I got McLaurin in my league, so we switched off guys.
I know,
so
right?
They both got 27 points, and then I got Tyreek Hill finally did something, 20 points. Bijan, 26. Laporta actually did something for 6 catches.
2 catches for 6 yards.
I mean, 3 catches for 6 yards.
That's what it was.
2, but 2 of them were for touchdowns. That's what I meant. So he had 15.5 points. Chase Brown's been great, 20 points for me.
Bro.
And then Denver's defense, again, 3 sacks, 3 picks, 2 touchdowns scored.
Dude.
So 21. Cooper Kupp was one of my duds, 4.7 points. He did terrible. Aaron Jones again has fumble issues.
2 fumbles,
twice.
man. Right.
He only had 9.8. Isaiah Pacheco, I thought would get a little bit more play, only 5.9. I probably should have known better, but he was a full participant all week.
Sometimes you can't help it, man. You just want to get him back.
He missed so many games. I mean, so yeah, they were kind of my duds there.
So Frankie, let's get into the Week 14 must-starts, the starts of the week, bro. And like I told you, I got some interesting ones, bro. So number 1, I'm going to say start a quarterback who had a rough week last week and say start quarterback Kirk Cousins.
Dude, you pick him every time
at the Vikings,
this guy,
bro.
I
Let's
swear
go,
to God,
baby.
I picked him too.
So I'm telling you right now,
crazy.
Obviously that's a revenge game for Kirk. But
That's
you know what
why
I mean?
I put him down too.
But also the Vikings.
He threw 4 interceptions last week. I didn't think you would have picked him.
Bro,
I picked him. He's only
we don't talk about this before we put this down either.
That you picked him. I was like, this kid's gonna say it. Good choice.
So the Vikings have the 28th ranked pass defense. And mind you, their offense is tied for the league lead in turnovers with the Raiders. And the reason I bring that up is because obviously the Falcons could be getting the ball back a lot of times if the Vikings keep turning the ball. I mean, Aaron Jones fumbling issues. Sam Darnold's kind of been turning the ball over a little bit. And like I told you, man, Kirk, this is a revenge game. It's going to be, he's familiar with that defense, bro. So I'm sure he wants to light them up.
That's who I got, too.
Number 2, start running back Isaac Gernado versus the Bears, bro. So CMC out for the year, and Jordan Mason is on IR. The Bears have the 25th ranked rush defense. He had a touchdown versus Buffalo last week, and let's face it, man, they have a stout run defense. Both times he had 10 or more carries, Frankie, he posted 99 yards on 10 carries and 85 yards, 1 touchdown on 14 carries. So I think you feed him more, he gets a rhythm going.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. The number 3, start wide receiver, Nick Westbrook-Akine.
Akine's been great.
Versus the Jags. Now, the Jags have the 32nd ranked pass defense. They dropped a spot from the Ravens. The Ravens were 32nd for a while. As well as the 32nd ranked overall defense, bro. So they're just at the bottom in both of those categories.
That's funny.
Now, Nick Westbrook-Akine may have only 20 receptions on the year, but 8 are touchdowns.
7, 8 touchdowns, right? Yeah, he's going crazy.
4 touchdowns the last 3 weeks, and he has scored a touchdown in 7 of the last 8 games.
He's on my bench in one league, and I keep him there because you just never know.
Right.
But
get him in your lineup this week. Get him in. I think that he's going to light up the Jags. He had 2 touchdowns last week.
Yeah, he's been good.
Number 4, start wide receiver Jacoby Myers at the Bucs. Now, the Bucs have the 29th ranked pass defense. They've always been kind of struggling in that department. Myers has posted 90 or more receiving yards 3 of the last 4 games and has also grabbed 6 or more passes 5 of the last 6 games. Has only had under 5 receptions 3 times this season so far. And then number 5, start tight end Luke Schoonmaker versus the Bengals. Bengals are 4th worst in receptions allowed to tight ends. And they are 5th worst in yards allowed to tight ends, Frankies. And are 2nd worst in touchdowns to tight ends, bro, with 8. So they just suck against tight ends. And I heard Jake Ferguson could potentially be back, but I think Schoonmaker, he's got 20 targets over the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, he does. He's been playing good.
So I'm saying, man, get him in there and see what he can do. But Frankie, let's hear your FanDuel this week.
I got Kirk Cousins, too. This is my lineup here. Keith always shows you a picture. So Kirk Cousins, again, revenge game. He's coming off a terrible game.
Yep.
A terrible game. Honestly, it's the only game I lost against you and our picks. And he threw 4 interceptions. 2 were in the red zone, in the end zone. So it's like that game could have been completely different. They only lost by 4. But Kirk Cousins' revenge game, you know I'm going to stack it. Drake London, I'm stacking him with. Again, we talked about Minnesota a lot. They have the 32nd worst. In terms of how many points they give up, number 1. Most points given up to wide receivers. So
there you go.
In fantasy, Drake London had 16 targets last week
against
the Chargers. Granted, again, Kirk Cousins threw 4 picks, but yeah. So Drake London, he had 16 targets, 9 catches, 86, and he rushed for 1.
No wonder Darnell Mooney did nothing for me.
Well, again, Kirk Cousins was thrown in triple coverage, getting picked off every time. So I'm going DeAndre Swift, 6,300. He's due for a week. They just finally made a coaching change where they should hopefully utilize this kid more. They were doing much better when they gave him the ball a lot more and screen plays and you know what I mean. So and San Fran, who's banged up, is 4th worst against the run. So they're giving up the 4th most fantasy points to running back. So I expect him to have a good week.
Yeah, I hope
Bounce back week. Amari Cooper, 5,700. He's had no big games since that first game, really.
Right.
So I feel like that could be a shootout game too against the Rams. Who are a little bit towards the back, but not, middle of the pack for that, covering wide receivers. But I think that's good.
I like
that. And then Isaac Guerrero, who we just talked about, he's going to be starting this week. He's only 5,200. He should be in every single one of your FanDuel lineups. Let's be real.
He's really the only healthy running back they got.
Right. So and the only other thing I had really on the flip side of that is Chicago Bears defense. I had to pick a cheaper defense. They're 3,600. They're one of the bottom 6. They're one of in all the games they played this year, they've only given up 21 points 3 times, or 21 or more points 3 times all year. In only 1 game did they not turn the other team over all season long. So San Fran's wicked banged up.
Yep.
They just lost CMC, Jordan Mason. Ayuk the pukes out.
Yep.
Deebo Samuel's toenail's probably going to hurt or something. So
and
it's
George Kittle's even been a little banged up this year.
He's been banged up. So why not shoot him out there and see what happens? You know what I mean? So that's my team this week. So yeah, that's my team right there.
Yeah, Frankie, like you were talking about with the Kirk Cousins start, man, going against his former team. Saquon Barkley, bro, I like that. DeAndre Swift, that's a good 1-2 punch. And Drake London, man, getting 16 targets last week. Come on, bro. You got to start him in there with Kirk.
Love it.
Justin Jefferson and Amari Cooper, man. They're both nasty. Amari Cooper's due for a big game. Will Dissly, man, I was talking about him the other week too, man. They've been using him a lot, and he's kind of had a resurgence in his career from Seattle to now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Guerrero being the only healthy running back in San Fran and the Chicago's defense, like my boy was talking about. Get him in there.
Love it. So let's jump into the lava round.
Lava round, baby. Frankie, let's talk about those Week 13 picks. And your boy, he finished with a 14-2 record. Not bad, bringing my overall record to 132-63. Frankie, you finished 15-1, my dog. Give it to me, bro. Give it to me, dog.
And that, again, I still feel like every time I pick Atlanta, Monty, I ain't picking them no more.
It was the Chargers before.
I ain't picking them. I know. I picked Chargers.
Right.
That's just, those are the only two teams I've gotten wrong all year.
And me with the Chiefs,
I'm like,
too.
I'm just saying, if I take those, like, 4 of my losses this year, I'm picking those 2 teams.
You would have had every game right this week.
That's crazy. I know.
And that's already happened to me once.
Listen, he threw 4 picks, 2 in the end zone. I mean, come on. And they lost by 4. They should have lost by 50.
Absolutely. But Frankie, 15-1, bringing your overall record to 136-59, and you got me by 4 games. Now, man, I got to get a resurgence with these picks here. Let's see if we got any differences. So, Frankie, NFL Week 14 picks. You name them, we'll predict them. Let's get it popping.
Best game of the week, first game, Packers at Lions.
Packers
this
at
is going to be a monster game.
I do like that game a lot,
game.
And I am going to be taking the Lions here.
Oh, my God. I want to take the Packers so bad because they're playing so good.
They are.
But it's in Detroit.
Right.
And Detroit just came off a tough, close game, I think.
Primetime football, too, man.
I think they're going to be coming out with a vengeance.
Right.
This is going to be a playoff matchup right here, possibly.
Absolutely.
These 2 teams are nasty.
Yes, sir.
So I'm taking the Lions, too, but that could go either way, honestly.
I agree.
Chicago could have beat the Lions, or at least sent to overtime.
That's what I'm saying.
Chicago played the Lions
real
good.
I'll be honest with the Lions, really. They didn't look good in the second half of that game, but I really do think
they came out, though, killing them.
I feel like it's going to be one of those things where they look kind of flat against the Bears in the second half, and then in this matchup, I think they could destroy the Packers, bro.
I don't know. Packers are playing great.
No, they are, but I just think the Lions
Packers
are
capable of that. Such a good team. They're so complete, in my opinion.
Right.
So, I mean, that's going to be the game of the week all day.
I agree. Thursday Night Football, baby.
Another good game. Browns are playing good ball. Browns at Steelers. I mean, I'm going Steelers. I'm sure you are, too.
I'm going Steelers. I went against the Steelers last week.
This game's going to be a shootout, though. I feel like you saw what the Cincinnati and the Steelers did.
Yep.
They set the record for the most points put up in that divisional rivalry.
Yeah,
it was crazy this past week. That's how this game's going to be, too.
The AFC North has been a battle, bro.
Oh, my gosh. It's the funnest division to watch, in my opinion.
Yes, sir.
Saints at Giants.
I'm going to be taking the Saints here.
Yeah, you got to go Saints all day.
I don't trust Drew Lock.
A lot of these games I feel like are going to be similar. Jets at Dolphins.
Taking the Dolphins. Jets actually have now 9 straight consecutive losing seasons or something like that, huh?
Yeah, this is just terrible. They don't even know what they're doing anymore.
Nope.
They looked pretty good against Seattle at first, and then sure as crap, here comes Rodgers throwing a pick on like the 10-yard line.
Yep.
Like, unbelievable.
We expected it.
Yeah, Jags at Titans. That's a kind
You know
of game.
what? If Trevor Lawrence was playing, I would be taking the Jags here, but I'm going to be honest, I'm taking the Titans. I don't trust Mac Jones.
I thought you were going to go Mac Jones. That's your boy.
Absolutely not.
No, I honestly, if Jags have been playing better with Trevor Lawrence the last couple of weeks, but yeah, he's going to be out most likely with a concussion.
Yeah,
so
I don't trust Hack Jones, bro.
Yeah, I'm going Titans too. Falcons at Vikings, revenge game for Kirk Cousins. What do you got there?
Taking the Falcons, bro. Like I said, man, I know the Vikings are playing good and their record is 8-2, but honestly, man, it's a rough 8-2. They've had a lot of close games. They almost lost to Jacksonville earlier in the year too. I'll be honest, I think Kirky goes in there, and after the rough game he had, he's going to throw for over 500 against that defense.
Yeah, this is a tough game, honestly. Yeah.
I'm taking the Falcons, bro.
The Vikings have been playing real bad. I'm still going to take the Vikings at home. So we'll have a difference there. I could easily see the Vikings losing. They've been playing like Duke.
They have been, bro.
So Panthers at Eagles. Eagles all day by 200
That's
points.
like literally not even a question, bro.
No, that's crazy. Raiders at Bucks.
I mean, both are rough defenses, man. The Bucks, like we talked about, they
should be a high-scoring game.
Right. I mean, they have a low-ranked pass defense, but I'm going to be taking the Bucks here.
Yeah, you got the Bucks at home. Seattle at the Cardinals.
I'm going to be taking the Cardinals. It's in Arizona, man. And I'll be honest, the Seahawks almost lost to the Jets last week.
I'm going Seahawks here. The Cards defense has been good, but they can't put it together either. I mean, they just didn't look right. They just don't look right. I'm sorry. They just don't.
2 differences right there.
Yeah, I'm going to go, I got to go Seahawks. So Bears at 49ers. This is going to be an interesting game. I'm still going to go 49ers.
I'm going 49ers. That's going to be an interesting game, though.
Yeah.
2 teams at a subpar right now.
49ers are banged up.
Yeah, they are. And we had them going to the Super Bowl in the offseason,
I really thought they would.
Yeah,
I
me
couldn't
too.
believe how many people they lost.
Right.
Bills at Rams. It could be a shootout. I'm sure you're going Bills. I'm going Bills.
I'm going Bills. Josh Allen, man, the guy who came the first quarterback to throw, catch, and rush for a touchdown in one game.
That was a cool touchdown, though, with
Amari Cooper handed it off to him.
Laddering it back to him, yeah.
Should get him an assist point or something
That
like
was
that.
sick. Yeah, that was sick. Chargers at Chiefs. That's another good game.
I'm taking the Chargers here.
I had a feeling you were going to go Chargers. I'm going Chiefs. I can't go Chargers.
Nah, I'm going Chargers, bro.
I got to go Chiefs. The Chargers are playing good ball, though. Their defense is phenomenal.
With the way the Chiefs are playing, almost losing to the Raiders, almost losing to the Broncos. They almost lost to the Panthers, too, bro. I'm going to be honest. I think the Chargers are going to solidify that. I think the Chargers are really going to take advantage of being up if they get up on the Chiefs and really be not conservative, be aggressive against the Chiefs.
Yeah, no, I could see them losing that one. Chargers defense real good. I mean, Kirk Cousins threw 4 picks, so
right.
I'm gonna go Chiefs though. It's at home, and they just keep finding a way to win, whether it's a bad hike or the refs are helping them.
Block kicks.
It don't matter. Block kick with a second left. So I got to go Chiefs until they.
Yeah,
until
I'm going
wrong.
Chargers, man. I'm just being optimistic. You know what I mean?
Bengals at Cowboys.
Yeah, Frankie, I'm going to be taking the Bengals here. They're due for a win.
Me too. The Cowboys are terrible, so I'm going Bengals.
So we got 3 differences?
3 differences, right? Yeah, I think
Not
so.
bad, just like last week.
I love it. We'll see. Good luck to
sir.
you. So yeah, that's all we got for the live round. Not too many things coming out this week. I did see, we talked last week about a video game docuseries.
Right.
This week, something pretty cool coming out with another really popular show, Stranger Things. It's actually a video game called Stranger Things VR, virtual reality. So it
sounds
looks
pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks pretty neat. It's Vecna basically coming. You're
that
playing
dude's
as
scary.
Oh yeah, you're playing as Vecna. And you're wreaking havoc on Hawkins, so you're actually from his point of view. So it's kind of cool. It looks interesting. I might get it.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, Frankie. You know, I know Stranger Things. Haven't really watched the show much, but Frank, where'd you get that, bro?
Oh, you know, I'm about to try this game. Come on now, dog.
All right.
Shoot, this is. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. Where's 11? I want to get some of her Eggos. I think.
To go to that awful place.
Oh,
Frankie, what happened?
I don't know, man. This is scary. This is some scariness. You got to try this out, man. You got to try this out. Get one of these things.
Let me try this out real quick. Yeah, this is pretty interesting. I mean, I don't know what's going on. What is that thing in the sky there?
Yeah.
I don't want to play no more.
From Beantown to your town, stay wicked, Pissah, everybody.
From Foxborough to your borough, thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll see you next week.